Today we have to talk about chaos. If you're with me right now, let's take a big breath first. Let's take a centering breath. And so, inhaling, let's hold at the top. One more time. Inhale, hold, exhale. There's a lot of chaos going on. Oh, my angel. There's a lot of beautiful chaos going on. And I was just kind of reflecting today. I was like, wow, how to process. And it's all a gift. It's all happening for us. Chaos has to happen. I love the conversation of like in manifestation, in choice. When you choose something new, when you're ready, when you've learned, when you've alchemized, in order to step into new, you have to make space. And if you don't make the space on your own, which sometimes it's impossible to make all the space necessary. Arlo, I'm watching you. By the way, we're here sitting in this beautiful, beautiful spot here in Italy. It's almost impossible to make all the necessary space. There has to be space that's made for you through chaos. Chaos is beautiful and necessary. It's what creates. And so I'm looking around my perceived reality. I'm like, oh, this is fascinating. Like, it's absolute chaos. Not absolute, because I still have so much good. I live in Italy. I live on a horse farm. I have a horse. I have a baby horse on the way named Chaos. And how interesting is that? Like, this period of time, ever since chaos was created, chaos has been happening in a more noticeable way. And we can argue the chicken or the egg of what created what. But I think it was all divine timing. Arlo, come here, babe. And so I shared a little bit yesterday about the chaos, and it doesn't really matter. It's all just an illusion. This entire reality is an illusion. And so it's important not to get too attached to what the chaos is, but to see the bigger picture. One of the most influential things that I've ever experienced in my spiritual journey, I guess, is learning to become the observer of the observer of the observer. And so I have that in my in the meditation in the 21-day program, the daily meditation. There's a really specific purpose for becoming the observer times 3. It removes you from being in the pain and the suffering and the chaos. And the pain and the suffering and the chaos is not bad. There's no such thing as bad or good. It just is. Everything just is. That's literally all that there is. The I am that I am. That's literally it. And so all of this was just meant to be experienced. And so I was sitting in the car today. After going to the grocery store, and I was just observing all the feelings that I've been having. And it's so cold. Arlo, don't eat that. Come here. My child. Hold on. He keeps like foaming at the mouth. Not in like a rabies way, but he keeps eating things that he's not supposed to eat. Arlo, what did you eat this time? It's an ongoing thing. You okay? One moment. Okay. I just stuck my hand in his mouth and everything's good now. So it's just like, okay, I was sitting in the car after we went to the grocery store today. We go to the grocery store as like a group because it's kind of far away. So we hit all the grocery stores at once. We call it the grocery store tour. And we stop at whatever other little errands we have to in town while we're there. And I had a relationship with someone here for a while, and I don't always share this information. I ended it because it wasn't the one. It wasn't meant to be. And we're still super, super close, like such great friends. And he's with someone new, which is beautiful. But that also brings up just like, it's interesting, all living together on the same farm, going grocery shopping together, just like rewiring how things were. And I'm like, wow, this just brings up so many fascinating human emotions and feelings. And I really liked listening to Arlo. Sit, come here, come on, baby, sit. Just let's not get into trouble right now. Sit. Thank you, Babish. Aubrey Marcus talked about, I think it was Aubrey Marcus. I'm pretty sure it was Aubrey Marcus. If not, it was my ex-boyfriend who knew Aubrey Marcus and was on his podcast at one point, I think. But anyway, one of them, they tried out poly relationships and they couldn't do it anymore because it just like, it was challenging too much of like the human conditioning. Like it was too much of a challenge. Like it was too painful. And it's possible, but deconditioning is tough. It takes a lot. It takes dedication. It takes commitment. It takes honesty with yourself. It takes awareness to like a whole new level. And not a lot of people can do that. And I don't think that I ever feel called to even go on that journey of trying poly. I would just like, the Aries in me would just be like, no, don't you dare touch her. And so it's, you have to really commit to awareness, like, and not try to just like shut the parts of you up that are shadowy. That's the other thing that I'll get into. It's like, so that's going on. And then those two girls that I've told you guys about on the farm who just like randomly hate me now. We used to be good friends and haven't given me a reason. I've been told like, don't talk to them. They don't want to talk. And so I just couldn't take it anymore. So I said, hey guys, do you want to talk about this? Someday I live here and so do you. And like, maybe we should try to, figure it out. It turned into screaming. One of them was like screaming so much her eyeballs were going to pop out of her head. And I was just like, wow. But still in that chaos, I couldn't gather anything. Like I was asking for reasons of like what had happened and what I had done wrong and how I can improve, and there were none really. And so I was just kind of left with confusion, other than just seeing a lot of projection, a lot of things said without anything to back it up, and so a lot of just like staying in my center while like not receiving, but I guess being projected at with all of that high intensity. I was like, okay, well, I know my intentions are good. I know that like I'm trying to fix this. I know that I am very unaware of like what I've done wrong, but I'm trying to be aware. And so it is what it is. And so that happened yesterday. I think the whole farm heard it. And I was like, well, this is progress. Like at least I like got to open up something so I could at least hear like, yeah, you're trying to push me out of the farm and make group chats without me and all these things. And I was like, it's so interesting that people can't go on this journey of self-awareness themselves and will do everything in their power to try to like isolate you or kick you out of the tribe. And the human parts of me, I hear humans. The humans parts of me, you have to be aware of so much. And so there's a part of you that if you have an experience of where you might be like exiled from the tribe, there's a survival instinct that gets all triggered because it says, how will I survive? Arlo, stop eating things. Stop. Like eating rocks. There's a part of you that needed the tribe back then to survive. If you didn't have your tribe, you were shit out of luck and you just, you couldn't survive out in the cold, without shelter, without, a group to hunt with and all the things. And so there are these tiny little things that come up and then they can be projected from you as like, either fighting back or trying to people please or, however you try to remain part of the tribe in those terms, in that person's terms, or whatever the circumstance is. And so it's an inner journey going through the going through the chaos, going through the projections of others, and staying centered. There's also, the situation of my health where I'm waiting for results from, I have to get an MRI now. And so I'm also excited. Like, I love results. I love answers. I love directions. I love like just having validation too of like guessing what I think it is, and then seeing it, and also then the spiritual message behind it, and going deeper and deeper in like the spiritual message. And I've been exploring that and sharing that with you guys. Arlo, come here. Come. The topic of safety and just like looking into, the pressure, like sitting with the pressure and be like, what voice do you need to, or do you have that you need to share? What words do you need to share? And it's that like distrust because of previous experiences and events. And so then it's like my soul journey, my spiritual and human and physical, all of a mental journey of creating trust within my body. Because then when I create trust within my body and I create this like absolute fucking safety bubble, like no one can penetrate, I trust, all my cells trust. Arlo, come here. Stop. Come here. Sit. My precious baby, sit. Sit. Good boy. Lay down. Just be like Zima. Lay down. Lay down. I know. So boring. Don't eat it. And so I'm like, well, okay, waiting for the MRI results. This person that I love so dearly is not doing well health-wise, and so it's just like so much, but also so much good. Again, like I was saying, like my coaching programs are thriving. You guys are having such positive feedback with it. It's like they're making a difference. The things in those programs are like what's keeping me to this place where I feel okay, like I feel fine. I just like stop, like when I was sitting in the car on the way back from the groceries or when we got back, and I was like, whoa, these like spikes of like, they're so fascinating. They're so human, and just like the unknown of what's gonna happen with everything else, and like the eyeballs popping out of the head. I'm like, whoa, this is fascinating. And so this chaos is happening everywhere I turn. Everywhere. At the same time, I'm building this roof cover on the farm with, I bought the materials, but I have help from my friends here because I'm not qualified really to build a roof. And so I'm making more of a permanent thing of my own to have on the farm for however long I decide to be here. I definitely will be back and forth if I'm not here full time, because my baby horse will be born in May. Chaos will be born. And so I would like to have somewhere, to call like my little patch. And so I bought a fireplace, and we're going to put some pallet furniture there and put up some lights and some plants growing up that are hopefully like also fly repellent plants. Right now the flies are not bad. In the summertime it was gnarly. My butt was covered in every kind of bite possible. Sit your butt down, Arlo. Sit down. Good boy. I know, so boring. So in the meanwhile of the chaos happening on the farm, it's like I'm also building something a little more permanent. And so there's all these things that come up with that as well, where it's like, should I have invested all of this money into buying this thing when I, feel like I should be leaving? And like I talk with you guys all the time in my one-on-one sessions and whatnot with you of situations like when it's time to go and when it's time to stay. And I've had people in my life who are such great friends and so aware, and they'll be like, why are you still there? I'll be like, every time I check in, I don't feel like I'm meant to leave yet. Not from a place of like staying in a toxic environment, but from a place of which it's not a toxic environment. Like it's a beautiful environment. It's just these two girls are toxic. And, but it's my opportunity to find my center in it. And I'm learning so much, and I'm learning, just to be in the projection of others and to see the truth. And thank God I studied narcissism and like all the different psychological conditions that people can have and strategies that people have of like, doing something bad, but then acting like they did it to be the hero and to protect you. And like, it's so interesting just like watching people play out those patterns like verbatim. And and it's really empowering as well. I forget the book. It's like my friend and I would laugh about it because we would always talk about narcissism and all the different conditions. And it's called like How to Spot a Narcissist, Psychopath, Sociopath, or something like that. I need to try to remember. Mention in the comments below if you want me to find it and put it in there. Um, but it really, I think that everyone needs to become more aware, because not only, do you need to be aware for you to see the patterns within friends and romantic relationships and coworkers and bosses and everything, but also for yourself. Like, if you're always just saying other people are narcissists, other people are psychopaths, other people, blah, 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 that can be a way to like be the victim. That can be a way to, you know, uh, just kind of play into those patterns yourself. You have to be aware of everything, every single freaking thing that's within you that comes up. And so there is like a list of 9 things that qualify one as a narcissist, but we all have little tendencies, and that's okay. And it's just having the awareness around it and having the honesty with yourself. Like, yeah, maybe I did use this person a little bit, and maybe I, was a little selfish or whatever. And not that selfish is bad. I also think that being selfish is really good. And I'm really enjoying not even being selfish right now, but like having boundaries and being like in my sovereignty, my soul sovereignty more, and like being okay saying I want to go on a solo ride and not a group ride, and like things like that, just because my energy is great and wonderful and special and sacred. And I, being around people all the time, I sometimes get a little like influenced, and you know, I try to hold my own in certain groups, but it's interesting when other people like aren't really on that journey of self-awareness. And so it's an interesting experience. That's it. And so I feel that a lot of my journey right now is like bringing it all in and bringing it in to the point where it's like I don't care if other people are upset that I'm not socializing with everybody all the time, and I only really spend a lot of time with the people that I truly enjoy and that I see like a actual relationship with. I guess it's like the same topic as like not really wanting to do small talk. Like, I really love the people who just don't do small talk and they just get straight to the deep shit and ask high mileage questions. And so I think I'm really focusing on that. Is like, who can actually go there and who can go deep. And you don't have to, in my reality, one doesn't have to be like a super spiritually aware person who's like talking about spirituality, but at least bringing value of some sort and wanting to learn and also wanting to be in their authenticity. I think authenticity is the most important thing ever for anyone. It's like, I was talking with a client the other day about this. It's like, I love observing all the different people that I follow online that I don't know, like creators. And Arlo, sit down, baby. Sit down. Sit your butt on the ground. Sit. Sit. Good boy. That's a good boy. Just wait. And they're all over the board. Like, one's a Christian girl, one's in a van, one's in a sailboat, one's in a home in Australia with her 3 kids. And so they all have different, she's also Christian. They all have different beliefs, different lifestyles, different everything. But the one thing that remains the same between all of them is their authenticity. And so I love holding a conversation and holding space and spending time with somebody who is in their authenticity. And that expands me. And if I stay in my authenticity, that expands them. And the main thing is to be okay having different opinions with the people. One of my family members, I messaged them yesterday to add to the chaos. I said, hey, why haven't I heard from you in a while? And I how do I say this? They said, because I know you voted for this person and I was like, I didn't actually vote for that person, and I don't know where you got that from, and I don't know why that has to end a relationship. Part of the human conditioning that a lot of people have fallen into, which is part of the control and is going to make you a little minion, is if you're allowing other people's opinions and beliefs to be the reason why you end a relationship with them. If you want people to be exactly like you in order for you to like have a relationship with them, it's fucked up. If we're all the same, then nothing happens. If no chaos happens, then nothing grows. It is so important to have the contrast and to, if you're falling into this conditioning to cut everyone out if they don't believe in the same thing as you, it's called divide and conquer. Look it up. It's how people are controlled. But the chaos is really important. You just need to love and accept everyone and everything for what it is and just observe. I can love the person whose eyeballs were popping out of her head because I know at the root of it she's love and acceptance as well. We're one of the same consciousness, and I can forgive her. And I can accept as well that maybe in this lifetime we won't ever click, or maybe we will. But right now I know that this is a projection of what's going on within me so that I can learn. And I'm a projection of what's going on with her so that she can learn. And the same goes with everything else. And so I think I'm talking about this to give examples to show that chaos will happen. Life doesn't just become perfect, but how you respond to it is your choice, right? Suffering is inevitable. It's how you respond to it that allows you to have a peaceful, wonderful, beautiful life. My life is wonderful and beautiful. Your life is wonderful and beautiful. There are so many infinite possibilities. And yeah, there might be a lot of fucking question marks going on right now, and that's okay. If there's a lot of question marks, that means a lot of shit's gonna happen. And that means things are gonna get better and better and better and better. And more experience is going to happen. The point is to have a human experience. The point is to feel the discomfort, to feel the conditions of the human experience of like, oh my God, my heart, like anger, sadness, question, all these things. It's wonderful. It's why we're here. It's not meant to just be perfect. It's not just meant to be exactly how you want it to be. Expectations, right? You got to let go of expectations. You got to let go of attachment. You got to just let it be and watch it and just observe and grow. But if you don't observe and grow, if you don't observe, you don't grow. If you don't bring the awareness and the honesty around what's happening and how you're responding to things, then you will just fall into these patterns of what you've already been living for your entire life. And you can just fall into the pattern of like, oh, I guess my life sucks and other people's don't. Arlo, not yet. Is anyone feeling this with me too? Let me know in the comments if you're feeling this too. If you're feeling this like beautiful chaos, if you're expanding and growing in so many ways right now, you're given the opportunity to grow in all these ways. I wouldn't trade this for the world. I really wouldn't. This is better, so much better than when I was working in a desk job and I was in a timeline that was not in alignment with my authenticity. I knew that the misery I was feeling was because I was not listening to where I want to be. I wanted to be in Italy. I wanted to be in a van. I wanted to be around animals. I wanted all the things that I have right now. And even though I'm in my authenticity and in where I want to be, it doesn't, like, obviously still there's chaos. And this chaos is happening so that I can get that clarity of what I want next. And then having the courage to choose that is the most important thing. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. It's like moving, Arlo, come here, babe. Moving through the chaos. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting. Nope, no little spike of what to do next. I'm waiting. Nope. Okay. And so that's like how I'm doing it. Does that make sense? I'm just like, okay, what else you got? Okay, what else you got? And being aware. And then as soon as I really, really see whatever I'm meant to like follow next, that curiosity, I'll go for it. And so that's how we move through the chaos. That's how we allow chaos to create beautiful things within our life, is we don't get attached to the story of what's happening because it's all an illusion. And we allow ourselves to open up to what's trying to come through because of it. So, thank you for being here in this very open and honest video with me. I love you guys. I love this space. I love being on YouTube. It's a dream come true. It's what I always wanted to do, at least for the last 10 years when I first got that download. And when I move through this chaos right now, I sit down and I think, I get to make YouTube videos. I get to do this life that I always dreamed of. And so where you are right now is what a previous you was dreaming of in some way. Maybe not all of it, but in some way you have made it to where you wanted to get to before. And so it's time to celebrate that. And it's time to know that anything that you want is possible. Your desires are your guiding light. So allow the chaos to guide you there. So with all that being said, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new here. Leave a comment if you feel called to do so. If you don't know what to say, you can say, hello, Arlo and Zima. We love you. I'm gonna go try and hop on a horse and do a sunset ride. And yeah, if you want to sign up for one of my programs, I have 21 days to rewire your mind, 21 days to know your divine guidance, and my newest program starting on January 1st, which is called Decondition, 12 weeks of intensive deconditioning so that you can set yourself free. It's the same thing as like what either Aubrey Marcus or my ex-boyfriend was talking about, of deconditioning the parts of us that like keep us controlled in this 3D world. We're moving into the new earth energy. We're moving into this heart space reality where we start to remember. And in order to remember, we have to decondition the parts of us that made us forget. So this program is all about that. So if you want to sign up for that below, I have those all linked. I also have some one-on-one options as well. If you want to work one-on-one, I'm still debating closing my calendars soon. Maybe once the 12-week program starts, I will consider closing the program or the one-on-one calls, just because I'm trying to follow what I'm being guided to and what to focus on in this new year, which are so many wonderful, exciting projects that are going to be created. So if you want to sign up for emails, I also have an email list, which I haven't sent out an email yet, but if you want to join, that's where I will send out updates about new projects and whatnot. All right, I'm gonna go ride a horse into the sunset. Goodbye. I love you. I am so grateful for you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.